Hey, what's going on? I'm Michael Dean, and today I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to improve your sit-ups. Let's jump into it. One thing you want to remember is, what is the point of your abdominals? Your abdominals are designed to bring your shoulders to your hips. And so one thing that people don't do is they don't adjust properly when they get in here. So what you want to do is make sure that your hips are forward so that you're going to get that activated. You're going to get proper contraction in your core. So as you do that sit up, you don't want to think about doing a plank and overarching way too much here. Okay, your abs are designed to crunch forward, and you want to make sure they're able to do that. So as you do your sit-ups, think about that. You're gonna wanna remember to engage, remember that posture is really important, and remember to activate those hips. So your sit-up form is gonna look like this to remember to activate that core. So one thing to remember when you're training your core and your abs, remember your core does include your abdominals, your obliques, your lower back. Posture is really, really important. You wanna make sure that if you're gonna get the most out of your core training, and if you are someone who struggles with getting activation in your core, posture is really important. So as you're coming into a sit-up, you can keep your hands here, but a lot of people have a tendency to crunch too far forward as they come up in their sit-up, and they're just not really gonna get a good contraction or really any contraction here. So what I like to do, I actually like to take my hands all the way back behind my head. I'm gonna interlock my fingers, and I like to hold my hands all the way up here. And what this is gonna do is, as I do my sit-up, it forces my posture to come way far forward, especially if you don't have good shoulder mobility. Those elbows are gonna have to open up, and you're gonna open up through your chest. And then as I do my sit-up, I'm gonna get a lot more core activation. It's gonna get a lot more difficult. So this is definitely a more advanced movement, but it will help you feel it more. Now, if this is difficult for you, what your form can look like is this. So as you do your sit-ups, you don't need to go all the way down because you're trying to get that core activation. If you do have a bit of a stronger core, you can try to go all the way back and sit up with your hands all the way back there. Now, when you're doing your sit-ups, you might find it really difficult to get core activation. One thing you want to think about is mind-muscle connection. And if you have a hard time bringing your mind to there and feeling that core contraction, you can just put your hands here like I'm doing. And as you do your sit-ups, obviously you're not going to be able to put your hands all the way up on your head like this. If they're down here, that's fine. Don't worry about it too much because we're trying to get the most activation possible. So your sit-ups might look like this. You might just want to go down as far as you can, come back up. And what you're doing is making sure this contraction that you feel down here, you're able to feel that same level of contraction all the way up here. So if you crunch forward and you realize you don't feel that level of contraction, fixing your posture and making sure you're actually thinking about using those muscles. As you get better with your sit-ups, you can come all the way back, and you want to try to keep that activation the whole time. So your sit-ups might look like this. Cool.